The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of KSMQ Public Service Media Incorporated or its assigns.
Welcome to On Cue. I'm Eric Olson. On today's program, we are going to visit with Karla Carroll and Natalie Guanella to learn more about the Pie Academy. And it's not about making dessert. Then Cody Anderson will challenge you to get outdoors this winter for a little swimming, if you can believe that. And Matt Cano gives us a detailed look at the proposed Westcott Turf Dome. Stay with us. On Cue is next.
From KSMQ Television in Austin, this is On Cue, connecting interesting issues and interesting people. On Cue.
The Pie Academy is not about perfecting your flaky crust technique. No, it's a unique way of teaching students in the Austin Area School District. Joining us to share more information is instructor Karla Carroll and student Natalie Guanella. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
And we should say pie, that's a math thing. This is the way it's
Correct.
spelled, P-I. And what's that all about? This is the first year of this program.
It is. PI stands for Personalized Instruction. So we look at each student individually and then plan their instruction for what they need.
And Natalie, this is a different environment for you in the classroom. How is it different?
Well, there's a lot more like individual work, independent work, and we do different things in reading, like we do Michael Clay Thompson, and we do, for fourth graders, do M cubed for math.
Okay.
It's just a really fun, flexible
And
learning place.
I'm sorry to interrupt. And you're in there with others who aren't all in your grade.
No, there's first, second, third, and fourth graders in there, and so you're kind of just all at your own pace, and you're all doing different things.
Karla, what is that about bringing the grades together? What's the thinking behind that?
We looked extensively at research and what things work really well with gifted and talented students. And we were looking for growth potential. So how could we get our highest students education academically growing at a faster rate than what they were? And research showed that individualizing their instruction and really looking at where they're at and where they need to go was the route to go. And so when we looked at the number of students that would qualify for a program of that type, there are just a few in each grade level. So putting them all together with one teacher just made a lot of sense.
Okay, so these are all gifted and talented.
Correct.
And they're all in one location.
Yes.
All right. What's an average day like? Do you stay in that room? And do teachers change, or how does it work?
Well, I'm in Mrs. Carroll's classroom for the majority of the school day, but like we go for art, gym, and music, we go to our Connect teacher, and every grade has a Connect teacher, and they do like science and social studies, they do like fun Friday times, they do like, you go to lunch and recess with your Connect teacher's class, and then you do art, music, and gym with them. So.
And I didn't ask what grade you're in.
I'm in fourth grade.
Okay, fourth grade. And I suppose the things you're learning are probably different in some ways than other students your age. Do you have more advanced studies?
Yeah, and like for fourth graders in general, like we're ahead of them, but in Pi we're kind of all at the same rate, I guess, but I guess there's a little bit of difference, but I think we're all pretty much the same.
Do you use the same textbooks and everything, or are there advanced materials?
Natalie mentioned earlier the Michael Clay Thompson is a language arts curriculum that we use there, and it starts heavy in grammar and writing. And so third and fourth graders might not have as strong a foundation. They know the basics, but this program really goes in depth. So we started all the students at the same spot, and as we've worked with the fourth graders, I've noticed that they're understanding it quicker because they have some prior knowledge. And so then we went on to the next level with some of their grammar work. But the students meet, we could have second graders and third graders in the same small group even. It's based on their level and their ability. And so the students still meet together in book groups. They read maybe short stories or picture books or novels together in groups and do activities.
So you help the younger students?
Yeah,
Do
sometimes
you
when I
really?
have questions.
Do you read all the words like they're supposed to be in the book, or do you make up your own stories when you're reading a book?
Yeah, I normally just do what they do. Sometimes
Okay.
I have fun.
All right. What are the requirements or qualifications to be considered for the PI program?
They look at all students in Austin Public Schools, at their achievement and their ability, and they just look at those test scores and then they select students from there who are eligible.
So they have to ask or apply or
Nope, all
Oh.
students are looked at, and if you qualify, you are invited. Now, students can choose not to attend the PI Academy. They can stay in the regular classroom, but they are invited.
And I'm not up on the test scores. Do they take like Iowa test skills? Okay, that
No.
dates me. Okay, sorry.
No,
But what
that's okay.
kind of tests are you talking about?
We use the COGAT test, which measures their ability and their innate learning, and then the Scantron test is taken 3 times a year by all students.
Scantron. Now I remember that from my own kids. And you know, when I said Iowa skills test, I just like dated myself from 50 years ago or something, probably, which is why you laughed, Karla. Where will they go after this year? Would the students stay in this? If they're in second grade, would you stay in
Correct.
this moving on? And then what about fourth grade?
They'll go to I.J. Holton. They have their full-time grouping classroom for high ability students.
Is that a PI? Is that the same thing?
It's not. It's they call it full-time grouping there. So there's 30 students together in a classroom at I.J. Holton, and they travel together throughout the day for reading, math, science, and social studies.
And that's across the student body. That's not just a
Yep, they
gifted
take
and talented.
right. Mhm.
All right, because I know in high school then there's a gifted program there as well, but I'm not
Right.
familiar with how it works.
It's more self-selected classes at the high school. So the students who have high ability would maybe take the AP classes or advanced math or honors math.
Because Natalie, here, as you're going on, you wouldn't want to go to next year and be doing what you did last year,
Right.
Right.
right? You want to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So what's the funnest part of this change from the way you went to school before?
Well, like I said, you do a lot of more independent work, and we do different programs like the M Cubed and Grammar Island, Michael Clay Thompson. So, and we did the bridges, what is that called?
Engineering is elementary. We did a bridges unit on civil engineering.
Oh, like actual
Building bridges.
Okay.
Yep. And so the students learned concepts on force and balance, stability, and then they built their own bridges.
As an educator, how different, because you've been in the district for going on 10 years or so in various elementary setups, how has this changed for you as an educator?
Well, I've taught first and third grade before, and then as a GT, or gifted and talented interventionist, I worked with first through fourth graders, and I'm back in the classroom, which I love. I'm building that community within the students that are there all of them, the first, second, third, fourth graders. I think they do a great job of looking out for each other and helping each other and being really respectful and even developing those friendships that hopefully will carry on throughout middle school and high school. The things I like the most, I still teach reading and math. We don't want them to miss any of their skills. We want to make sure they have a solid foundation. But then they have the ability, we use an online math program to really accelerate them at their pace. So nobody's holding them that back, but yet they still have the foundation that they need for math. And then in the afternoon, we do a program, or a time I called shared learning, and all the students are together. Because they leave the classroom, first grade leaves with first grade classroom to go to gym and music and art, and second grade leaves for their specials. So we want to make sure that the kids are in and out of the room during the day. So I have that 1 hour in the afternoon, and that's the time that we did the engineering unit.
Oh.
So all the students were working together, and it was more than just the fourth graders helping the younger students. I really believe that they were learning together.
Absolutely.
And they were working together. It was really wonderful to watch.
Well, Natalie, we're out of time. That went fast, didn't it?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if you know this, but Carl, this is huge extra credit for you. Did you know that? I didn't, well, you could work it out, but I just said it, so it's going to happen, right? Natalie Guanella and Karla Carroll, instructor of the Pi Academy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yep, come back again. Stay with us. Coming up next, Cody Anderson joins me to talk about plunging for pink.
Additional resources for gifted and talented students in Minnesota and the Hormel Foundation Gifted and Talented Education Symposium can be found at education.state.mn.us.
You can watch On Cue anytime by visiting the KSMQ TV website, ksmq.org.
And welcome back. Time to start thinking about taking the plunge again. The plunge for pink. Do you remember that from last year? Last few years, I think. Cody Anderson is here to talk about a wonderful fundraising opportunity for a great cause. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We were here last year, and you looked no worse for the wear after going through this plunge, jumping into the lake for cancer. Talk a little bit about it.
I think it actually helps me look a little bit younger. I've heard it tightens up the skin, and it keeps your hair the nice dark color you're looking for. It's a very rejuvenating process.
Plunge for the pink. Let's for folks that don't know, why don't you review what it is?
Well, the plunging for pink it's kind of like a spin-off of the polar plunge we've heard of. There's other events out there like for MS or dystrophy or what have you, and this is one that is really about getting very cold for cancer research, breast cancer research specifically. So, we get a bunch of people together, we go over to Eastside Lake, cut a big hole in the ice, and then teams up to 10 people jump in at the same time, take a big deep breath, and then hurry as fast as they can to get out of the water and get warm.
And they have raised funds.
We have, and last year we actually raised $37,000, which is that was the most at any event in the Paint the Town Pink Week for Austin. So it's a big deal for us.
Goodness,
and just our second year. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
So are people, is that like if you're going on a 5K walk for charity, you go out and solicit like contributions from people, and then if I jump, you'll pay me X dollars? Is that how it works?
Well, we want people to do that, absolutely. We don't require anyone to do that. It's a $50 jump charge, $50 just to be in there, and I think that's a reasonable amount to, we have to have firemen out there, and we have to have the city cut the hole in the ice, so it's a big deal. And we want to make sure that we are raising as much as we possibly can for this very worthy cause. So we ask for a minimum of $50, but there are a lot of people that go out there and set up Facebook feeds, hey, help fund me to jump in the water. And whoever does raise the most money as a team gets a pretty neat award from Moline Awards in town. So
hey,
there are some bragging rights at stake.
That's nice. Is this something that is unique to our area or Austin, or is this a like a breast cancer initiative that is done all over?
This is very unique to our area, actually, and this was something that came up in the Vision 2020, one of the meetings we had there, is how do we bring more people to Austin, and how do we do an event that will also bring people in, but be for a worthy cause. And this is something we talked about, is we heard other towns are doing like polar plunges. Why don't we do a plunge for pink? You know, get people outside at time of the year where a lot of us are inside watching TV, gaining weight, not being very productive, and it just seemed like a great event to pull off. Why not cut a hole in the ice, get a bunch of people together, get wet, get cold, and for a great cause.
And we have a little lead time. Talk about the date and time.
It's going to be January 31st, 2 p.m. And it's always been right around that time. It's always either at the beginning or the end of the Paint the Town Pink Week. The Paint the Rink Pink Night is actually the next Saturday. So then we said we'll be here the Saturday before. So we're actually plunging into the week on that Saturday. So
nice. You should be in advertising or something. You're good at that. Actually, you're supervisor at Hormel Foods and do a great job there. And so do you talk to any of your colleagues at Hormel Foods to try to coerce them into jumping?
Well, I just want to go on record as to saying everyone that reports to me is expected to be there, so it will be on your review if you do not show up. But of course, there is some friendly competition involved. There's other superintendent, Joe Music, who's involved in it, and he tries to get out his entire dry sausage team. Really, the whole town is behind it, but I like to say that the people at Hormel really do believe in it. We bring it up at our superintendent meetings. We bring it up at our weekly management meetings. We really try to make sure that we get as much talk and buzz around the event that we possibly can.
And this is the Institute.
We are raising money for the Hormel Institute. Correct.
That's a huge, $37,000 last year. That's really a commendable amount for the second year.
Second year, yeah, second year, and we had over 215 people take the plunge. So
what's the key? Doubled. What's the key to getting that, having that level of success? Is it word of mouth, or?
I think it is word of mouth, and maybe a little bit of that peer pressure. A lot of people say, God, I'd like to try it once, but I don't know if I want to do it again. No, get out and do it again. We haven't beat cancer yet. There's no reason to give up yet, and we're just asking to be cold for about 5 minutes.
And costumes are encouraged.
Oh, they're very much encouraged. There's actually an award for that as well. So, and last year, Pacelli actually won it. They had a flag bearer, and it was a great costume. And it was funny. It got a lot of laughs. There was also some people from, I think it was Tolly's, that went down into Speedos, and we don't encourage that, but we're never going to say no. Whatever brings the people out, and they had a blast doing it. We had a very good time laughing at them. So,
besides yourself, what about, is there a need for people who aren't necessarily jumping but want to volunteer or help?
As far as volunteers, I think we've got most of that covered. I think the best thing you can do to help us is just get out. If you can't jump, and we understand that, not everyone's got the health capabilities to be able to plunge. That's fine. Just get out there and help us create some buzz. Show up, put some money in the jars, have a good time. There should be a beer tent there. Go out and have a good time. Have some fun and just participate in the community, and again, be part of this great cause.
And you have the firefighters there too for safety
Firefighters
reasons.
And the EMTs are there, absolutely. No one's going to go in the water and not get out. There's like 4 or 5 firemen that are floating in there and one on the other end, just making sure once you're in, we get everybody out as fast as possible.
So how do we find out more if we want to join up or have a team?
Well, you can go to www.plungingforpink, that's PLUNGING, forpink.com. You can sign up online. It'll give you some more information about the event, show you some pictures from the year before. A lot of good information on there.
So are you ready to unveil any goals that you've set for this year?
Yes, we'd really like to have 250 jumpers this year. We think it's possible. Like I said, we almost doubled our number from last year, from like 110 to 215. We know we can get a little bit more. It's really about word of mouth. If you got friends that are jumping, bring your friends from the cities, get whoever you can down here. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a party afterwards. Torgy's, 6 p.m. Peabody's playing that night. If you jump, we're going to give you a complimentary meal, probably a pulled pork sandwich, some chips, soda, that type of thing. And if you don't jump, it's only $10. So show up, We'll be handing out the awards, having a blast. We'll be showing some pictures, going through the slideshows. It's going to be a great event.
And if you do make your goal there, I'm thinking you're going to eclipse the financial too.
Right, we'd like to hit $45,000 this year, and we think it's very doable. So,
well, under your esteemed leadership, Cody, I'm sure it'll be just fine.
I wish I could take all the credit for it, but we have a great team out there. Brig Anderson, myself, Joe Music. There's a lot of people involved with this.
And it's called Plunge for the Pink, and that website again?
www.plungingforpink.com.
And 4 is spelled out, not the number.
Correct.
4. Okay.
F-O-R.
Great. Thank you very much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Okay. And we will be right back with our Vision 2020 update.
Queue up your own comments for On Cue and send them to us at onq@ksmq.org. On Cue's Vision 2020 segment is brought to you by Hormel Foundation, Games People Play, and Turtle Creek Estates.
And welcome back to On Cue. Time now for our Vision 2020 update. Matt Cano here from the Recreation Committee. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Eric.
Some updated news about some a recreational facility getting a little facelift, perhaps.
Yeah, we're pretty excited to be able to partner up with Austin Public Schools and using the Westcott Field facility. The school district was looking at adding some turf into the football field and the soccer field to allow for a little bit more usage of the facilities. And the Community Rec Center, we were able to partner up with them, and part of our study, some of the results on the study revealed that we need some indoor recreational space in the wintertime. So with that in mind, we were able to work with the schools on adding a dome, and with some of the foundation partnership with the foundation, we were able to now temporarily, or I should call it seasonally, dome the inside of the football field.
And is this sort of like, I don't know the soccer world as much, but I know for people with hockey, if you're a parent and your child is in hockey, there's not enough ice time. There's no place to practice. It's full up. Is that happening with soccer to the point where this might be utilized?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not just soccer, but soccer is a very key component of there. They're going to get a lot of utilization out of this. We currently have teams going to Faribault, which has a bubble, or Minneapolis for soccer. Not only that, I know Albert Lee's got a team as well going to the cities on weekends. Because
they don't have a facility like this will be.
Exactly. There isn't a indoor soccer space facility in southern Minnesota except in Rochester at their bubble, and also in Faribault at their bubble as well, at Faribault Shattuck.
So this goes up and then in the summertime it comes down, or does it stay up all the time? How will that work?
That's an excellent question. I've had that quite a bit. It is a seasonal dome, so after the last fall event, whether it's soccer or football, when that's finished, then it takes 2 or 3 days to erect the dome, and then it'll come down in April. So it's just a seasonal coverage. So it'll allow, during the winter time, it'll allow the public to come in there and have open soccer, like you would have open gym. For basketball, you'd have open soccer. It's also going to be open for the community to walk inside during the winter time. There's, you're going to have your soccer games, but you can also host full softball games. I know that the community college and the high school teams will be able to practice, but they can also have a full competition game inside of there.
Really?
Baseball teams will be able to practice. They won't be able to play a game, but they'll be able to practice in there as well. You can have flag football for the little kids during the winter time. I mean, there's countless different events that can go on inside there.
So what's the timeline proposed?
The proposal is to get started on construction this spring, early this spring, and have the turf fields in place for the first football or soccer game in late August of 2015. And then the dome would be erected in November of 2015.
Coming year, next winter.
It is. It's coming up
Wonderful.
this winter. So we're pretty excited about it. You know, in the community, I'm hearing a lot of good things. I know in the years past, Minnesota State High School regulations, in order to host a semifinal or a regional state tournament, they do require to have the right facilities and some turf in place. And the soccer teams had to travel to Rochester in years past as the #1 seed, but playing Lourdes on their home field.
Because they didn't have the
Right, they didn't have the turf. So
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, thanks so much for joining us. Good news.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Eric.
Matt Cano, Vision 2020, and that'll do it for this edition of On Cue. We'll see you next time.
On Cue is a production of KSMQ Television in Austin, nonprofit public television.